තෙරුවන් සරණයි සියලු දෙනාටම නමෝ බුද්ධාය. Good evening all. Warm welcome to our regular Saturday evening Dhammadana blessing program. As usual, today we reflect on our regular blessings for those who are in need of such blessings. But today is a very special program also being organized on this Saturday evening program. So this is a Dhammadana program we regularly host on every Saturday evening, organized by Lecture Dhammanikethane Buddhist Center. This today program can be sponsored to share the merits and blessings. Today the program is sponsored by Mrs Samanmali and also Mr. Ranjeewa Weerawardana to transfer merits and remember beloved Loku Appachchi, late Mr. Ranjith Ratnachandra on his birthday. So may he attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all the Dhammadana blessings be with Mr. Ranjith Ratnachandra, and may he has a very peaceful journey in samsara. Also, Mrs. Samanmali and Mr. Ranjeewa Weerawardana would like to share these blessings with Loku Amma, Mrs. Ramya, Ratnachandra, and family and friends and all in the whole world, to wish them all good health and blessings. This today program is also sponsored by Miss Chamari Jayasinghe, wishing a very happy birthday and also sharing the blessings with living mother, family and friends. To share the merits with late father, Miss Chamari Jayasinghe is sponsoring this program. We wish her very happy birthday. She is a very dedicated member of Lecture Dhammanikethane Buddhist Center. So as venerable monks, we share our all the blessings for good health, progress and prosperity in all around. This special program today is also sponsored by Mr. Murali and Mrs. Priya Chandrasena. in loving memory of Commodore Mr. L.M. Handunge, who worked a very good service in Sri Lankan Navy, being a very example officer, and they would like to transfer the merits on this 5th year merit transference remembrance on this occasion. Also, Mr. Murali would like to make these blessings to the mother who is at the moment not feeling well, Mrs. Vigneswari Shanmuganathan. May beloved mother get well soon. Also, Mr. Murali and Mrs. Priya Chandrasena would like to share the merry blessings with Mrs. Kusuma Chandrasena, beloved mother, also Aunty Mrs Wimala Ruhunage, and all in the family. Especially may Mr. late Commodore L.M. Handunge attain supreme bliss of Nibbana, and also beloved mothers and all in the family be well and happy. This program is also sponsored by Mrs. Anuradha Madaduwage, wishing her very happy birthday. She is our coordinator of our children projects and charitable work in Sri Lanka. So we appreciate all the good work and wish Mrs. Anuradha Madaduwage a very happy birthday with good health and prosperity. May utum dharmadana pinkama සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනකම ලෙක්චර් ධම්මනිකේතන බෞද්ධ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ මගින් පවත්වනවා. අද දවසේ විශේෂ වැඩසටහනක් හැටියට අපි පවත්වන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් දිනය සිහිපත් කරගෙන. අද දවසේ දායකත්වයේ දරන්නේ සමන්මලි මහත්මිය, රංජීව වීරවර්ධන මහත්මයා, විශේෂයෙන්ම තමන්ගේ ලොකු අප්පච්චි වන රංජිත් Ratnachandra මහත්මයාට එතුමාගේ උපන් දිනය සිහිපත් කරගෙන පින් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට, ඒ වගේම ලොකු අම්මා වන Ramya Ratnachandra මහත්මිය ඇතුළු පවුලේ හැම දෙනාටමත් ලෝය සියලු දෙනාටමත් ආශිර්වාද කිරීමට, ඒ වගේම Chamari Jayasinghe මෙනවියත් මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරනවා. සුබ උපන් දිනයක් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින්, ඒ වගේම මෑණියන් ඇතුළු පවුලේ සියලු දෙනාටමත් සියලු හිතවතුන් මිතුරන් ඇතුළු සෑම දෙනාටමත් ආශිර්වාද කරමින්, ඒ වගේම පියතුමාණන්ට පින් අනුමෝදන් කරමින්, ඒ වගේම අද පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන මුරලි මහත්මයා, ප්‍රියා චන්ද්‍රසේන නෝනා මහත්මිය, ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාවේ සේවය කළ Commodore L.M. Handunge මහත්මයාට වසර 5ක් සම්පූර්ණ වන මේ අවස්ථාවේදී පින් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වයේ දරනවා. ඒ වගේම අසනීපයෙන් සිටින විග්නේශ්වරි ශන්මුගනාදන් මෑණියන්ට ඉක්මන් සුවය ලැබේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාවෙන්, ඒ වගේම කුසුමා චන්ද්‍රසේන මෑණියන්, ඒ වගේම විමලා රුහුණගේ දයාබර ඥාතිවරිය ඇතුළු සෑම දෙනාටම නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය සැලසේවා කියන අදහසින් මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරනවා. ඒ වගේම නීතිඥ අනුරාධා මදදුවගේ නෝනා මහත්මියට නිදුක් නිරෝගී වාසනාවන්ත සුබ උපන් දිනයක් වේවා, සියලු බලාපොරොත්තු ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාවෙන් මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය අරගෙන කටයුතු කරනවා. අපි දැන් හැම දෙනාම එකතුව තුනුරුවන් වන්දනා කරමින් අද දවසේ නියමිත වැඩසටහන පටන් ගමු. ප්‍රථමයෙන්ම පිරිස පන්සිල් සමාදන් කරවීම සිංගප්පූරුවේ සුමන සිරිනායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ විසින් සිදු කරනවා. අද දවස ගැන කෙටි අනුව සිහිපත් කිරීමක් සමග ඒ අනතුරුව බුද්ධ වන්දනාව සිදු කරනු ලබනවා. ඉන් අනතුරුව අද දවසේ පැවැත්වෙන සිංහල ධර්ම දේශනාව පවත්වනු ලබනවා. ඊට අනතුරුව සෙත් පිරිත් දේශනාව, ඉංග්‍රීසි ධර්ම දේශනාව, ඉන් අනතුරුව විශේෂයෙන්ම ළමා දහම් පාසල් ළමයින්ගේ නිදහස් දිනය වෙනුවෙන් කරන විශේෂ වැඩසටහන ආරම්භ කරනු ලබනවා. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ 73 වැනි ජාතික නිදහස් දිනය සිහිපත් කරගෙනයි අද දවසේ වැඩසටහන ඉතාම හොඳට ළමයි සූදානම් වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඉතා විශේෂ වැඩසටහනක් අපිට මේ තුලින් අද දවසේ අපේ දැනුම දියුණු කරගන්නට, අපේ ජාතික අභිමානය දියුණු කරගන්නට අවස්ථාවක් මේ තුලින් සැලසෙනවාට කිසිම සැකයක් නැහැ. Now we are going to start our program. First, I would like to welcome the most venerable monks, most reverend doctors, Dato Sumanasri Nayakathera, Singapore, Malaysia, will administer the 5 precepts and make a short reflection. After that, we will do the homage to the Buddha and Bodhi Puja. After that, Sinhala sermon will take place about 15 minutes by our most venerable Dikwelle Sila Sumana Nayakathera on freedom in Buddhism, Vimukti Suvaya Buddha Dahame Tiyena, එවාගේම නිදහසේ අරුත පිළිබඳව about the meaning of the national independence in Sri Lanka. After that, there will be a chanting of blessings by venerable monks. Then there will be an English sermon. Then we will have a very special celebration of Independence Day, Sri Lankan Independence Day, with the full participation of our children. That is going to be a very special program, bringing them a lot of wisdom and insight and a lot of skills by our children. And I'm sure you will have a very special program today to watch. And finally, we will have a short meditation to finish our program. Now, may I kindly invite Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumanasri Nayakathera to administer the 5 precepts. Samanmali Nona Sudanaming innawada namaskare kiyanne. Namaskare kiyanna pansita.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Gacchāmi.
Ammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dhammam saranam gacchāmi.
Saṅgham saranam gacchāmi.
Sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Tiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dampi bhatam saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi saṅgham saranam gacchāmi.
Dampi sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi saṅgham saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Tipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Adinnadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Dinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Amesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Mesamacara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Savada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Gramire Majjapamadakkana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Saveramajkamadakdana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Reverences, sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, welcome to this special program today, the 73rd anniversary of the Independence Day of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. That is how it is legally called. So you have democracy, you have socialism, and it's also a republic. It accords Buddhism the foremost place, but the state religion is not identified as Buddhism. Independence from the UK in 1948, February the 4th. This was not full independence, this was called Dominion status. The Dominion of Ceylon legally it was called. The Sri Lankans just used the word Ceylon until 1972, when it became a republic by the late Mrs. Kusuma and the constitutional minister Kolina de Silva. And they were very careful to word how the system was, being a specialist in constitutional affairs, especially Dr. Kolina de Silva. A republic means public affairs. It doesn't belong to the Queen anymore. So if you take from 1948 to 1972, it still belonged to the Queen because everything was written under the name of Her Majesty. In Sinhalese, it was written, I remember, I was studying in Sri Lanka at that time, Laikaswin Viradhamanu Utumu Rajinaginami from 1948 until 1972. When it became a republic, that was taken off. And then official languages at the time was only Sinhala after 1959, 56 onwards. But later it has changed. Official languages are two, Sinhala and Tamil. So brothers and sisters, it's a joy for every nation to celebrate their independence. But what we are independent of, we have to understand. Are we economically independent? Are we culturally independent? In our patterns and styles, are we independent or not? If we look very openly, without any prejudice, many countries are interdependent actually. This is what the Buddha also told us. Everything depends on the other things. Yeah? Independence depends on the bondage. When you're free from the bondage physically, technically, then you say you are independent. But it's important also to psychologically be independent, culturally be independent, politically independent, and financially independent. I wish the Democratic Sri Lanka Socialist Republic to be fully independent in all sense. May the Mother Lanka be kind enough to achieve that. Sorry.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Before we begin of the homage and chanting Bodhi Puja, we are also in this program celebrating the 73rd National Independence Day in Sri Lanka. In that 73 years and certainly beyond more, many people had contributed enormously for the struggle as well as development of Mother Lanka, Sri Lanka. Even Buddha himself visited with the aspiration that will be the land, the Dhamma, the purity of Dhamma, Theravada, true teachings of the Buddha will exist for many, many years to come. So therefore, it is a very special nation, very special country. Let us take 1 minute in meditation to think of all those who have sacrifices their life and many things in the history to date for Sri Lanka before we start our homage and chanting by practicing 1 minute in silence, especially in meditation. ශ්‍රී ලාංකික අභිමානය වගේම සිංහල ජාතිය ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජාතිය වෙනුවෙන් අප්‍රමාණ සේවයක් කරපු විශේෂයෙන් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් පවා ධර්මයේ ස්ථාපිත වෙච්ච ශ්‍රී ලංකා දීපය ධර්මද්වීපයක් හා සමානයි. එදා මෙදා තුර ඒ ශ්‍රී ලංකා දීපය ආරක්ෂා කිරීමට දියුණු කිරීමට අපකැප වුණු සියලු දෙනාටම ගෞරව කරමින් අපි විනාඩියක් නිහඬව ඒ පිළිබඳව කෘතවේදී වෙමු භාවනාවක් හැටියට. අද පින්කමේ දායකත්වයේ දරන සියලු දෙනාටමත් ඒ වගේම විහාරස්ථානයේ සම්බන්ධ සියලු දෙනාටමත් ලෝකවාසී සියලු දෙනාටමත් සියලු යහපත නිරෝගී භාවය ආරක්ෂාව සැලසේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානයෙන් හැම දෙනා එක්ක තුනුරුවන් වන්දනා කරමු. Wishing all in the whole universe, especially the sponsors of the day and also our devotees, and all in the whole universe, all the good health and protection. Please join with Venerable monks to say this gatha out loud so that your household can transform with these blessings and merits. Let us pay our homage together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho Jacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati santa deva manussanam buddho bhagavati buddham jivitang yava nibbānam saranam gacchāmi svāṅkāto bhagavata dhammo nandintiko akāliko ehipassiko සත්තං වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤුයිති ධම්මං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවකං උජ්ජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවකං ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ යතිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට පුරිස පුග්ගලායිස භගවතු සාවක ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤං කෙන්තං ලෝකස්සාති සංඝං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි වන්දාමි චේතියං සම්බං සම්බකානි සුපතින්තිතං ශාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධිං බුද්ධ රූපං සකරං යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව චම්මාරි විජයං අත්තෝ සම්බං යුතං සත්තා වන්දේ තං බෝධිපාදපං ඉමේ ඒතේ මහා බෝධි ලෝකනාථේන පූජිතා අහං පිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධි රාජානවන්තුතේ කනසාරප්පදි තේන දීපේන තමගම් සිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන ධූපේන සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජාවාරණ මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම පන්තතිං පූජයාමි මුනිං දස්ස සීපාද සරෝරුවේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබාමි මොක්ඛං උප්පං නිලායාති අතායි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භවං සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං පසන්න මధుරං සුඛං ආනීය තම් භගවා පතිගන්හාතු අදිවාසේ තුලෝබන්තේ කිලාන පංචං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු අදිවාසේ තුනෝබන්තේ සබ්බං සන්දාය පූජිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන කතං අච්චයං කමමේ බන්තේ භූරිපන්න තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ ධම්ම සම්දින්තික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුන්ද ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ කාල සමාගමු සතං සමාගමෝ තු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තිය ආකාසත්තා ච බුම්මත්තා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा තිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසත්තා ච බුම්මත්තා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा තිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසත්තා ච බුම්මත්තා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा තිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති නං හෝතු සුඛිතාං තුඤ්ඤාතයෝ ඉදං ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතාං තුඤ්ඤාතයෝ ඉදං ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතාං තුඤ්ඤාතයෝ සාදු 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 මේ වෙලාවේදී විශේෂයෙන් සිංහල ධර්ම දේශනාව අද දවසට නියමිත පවත්වන ලෙස අපි තාම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා දික්වැල්ල බැවරු කන්නල බුදුරජ මහා විහාරස්ථානයේ විද්‍යාතුංග පිරිවෙනේ පරිවේනාධිපතිව කටයුතු කළ ජර්මනියේ බර්ලින් බෞද්ධ විහාරය අනුශාසක වශයෙන් කටයුතු කරන දැන් මේ දවස්වල විහාරස්ථානයේ වැඩ සිටින දික්වැල්ලේ සීල සුමන පඬිතු හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන ලෙස අප ඉතාම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා.
නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු වරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ගෞරවනීය හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ දුදරුවිනි දෙමාපියනි අද ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ 63 වෙනි නිදහස් සමරුව නිමිති කරගෙන ඒ නිදහසේ අගය වටිනාකම පිළිබඳව ආගමික සමාජික දේශපාලනික වශයෙන් කරුණු කීපයක් සිහිපත් කිරීමටයි මා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ජාතියක් නැත්නම් ස්වෛරී නොවන රටක් විසින් ඒ ජාතික තත්ත්වය නිවි කර ගන්නට ඒක සමරන්නට විශේෂ ලෙසින් නම් කෙරෙච්ච දිනයක් තමයි ජාතික දිනය කියලා හඳුන්වලා තියෙන්නේ. අපට නැත්නම් මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට 1948 පෙබරවාරි මාස 4 වෙනිදා ඒ ජාති දේශ සලකන්නේ නැතුව නිදහස ලබා ගත්තා. ඒ දිනේ තමයි නිදහස් දිනය කියලා සලකන්නේ. ඒ දවස ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ජාතික නිවාඩු දිනයක් හැටියට සලකන්නේ. ඒ දිනය සමරන්නට ජාතික කොඩි එසවීමේ උත්සව, ඒ වගේම නැටුම්, පෙළපාලි, විවිධ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වගේ රට පුරා ඒ දිනය සමරනවා. මෙන්න මේ නිදහස මූලික වශයෙන් අභ්‍යන්තර දේශපාලන තන්ත්‍රයේ නිදහසක් පමණක් නිසා ඒක නාමික නිදහසක් ලෙස අපට හඳුන්වන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තෙන්ම ශ්‍රී ලංකා ද්වීපයේ බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය කිරීටෙන් නිදහස ලබා ගත්තේ 1972 ජනරජ ව්‍යවස්ථාවක් ඇති කරගත්තට පස්සේ මේ නිදහස කියන එක අපි එක දිනයක් ලෙස සමරුම් ලැබුවත් මේ නිදහස එක දිනයකින් ලබා ගත්තක් නොවේ. වසර ගණනාවක් අපේ මාතෘ භූමිය මාතෘ භූමිය මත රුධිරය එළමින් අපට දායාද කරන ලද්දක් බව අපි සිතබා ගන්නට ඕන. ඒ වගේම අපේ අතීත ඉතිහාසය දිහා බලනකොට අපේ ඉතිහාසය පිළිබඳව අපි යම් දැනුමක් අවබෝධයක් ලබාගෙන තියෙන්නට ඕන. අතීතය දන්නේ නැතුව වර්තමානයේ තුලින් යහපත් අනාගතයක් අපිට ගොඩනගා ගන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපි අතීතය අපේ යටගියාව ගැන අපි මනමින් අවබෝධ කරගත්තොත් තමයි අපිට වර්තමානයේ අනාගතය සකස් කරගන්න පුළුවන් වන්නේ. අපි පැරණි රජදරුවන්ගේ ඉතිහාසය තුළ ඒවා රන් අකුරින් ලියවිලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ රජදරුවන්ගේ ක්‍රියාකලාපයන් පිළිබඳව ඒ රජදරුවන් ආක්‍රමිකයන්ගෙන් මේ මව්බිම මුදවා ගන්නට, ඒ වගේම තුන් සිංහලයේ එක්සේසත් කරන්නට, නිදහස් නිවහල් වූ දේශයක් පුරුම කරගන්නට කැපවීමෙන් ජීවිත පරිත්‍යාගයෙන් කටයුතු කරපු නිසා තමයි අපට මේ විදිහේ මව්බිමක් ඉතුරු වෙලා තිබෙන්නේ. අපේ පැරණියන් තමන්ගේ ජීවිත පරිත්‍යාග කළේ තමන්ගේ පටු අරමුණු වෙනුවෙන් නොවේ, අනාගත පරපුර සඳහා නිදහස් නිවහල් මාතෘ භූමියක් ලබා දීමට තමයි ඒ පැරණි ඇත්තෝ කටයුතු කළේ. ඒ නිසා පැරණි විරුවන්, ඒ වීරෝදාර ඇත්තන් තම ජීවිත පූජා කරලා අපට ලබා දුන්න නිදහස අපේ අනාගත පරපුර වෙනුවෙන් රැක ගැනීම අප සතු යුතුකමක්. අපි නියම නිදහස යන අර්ථ ගන්නන්නේ ආර්ථික, සමාජික, දේශපාලනික වශයෙන් ලබන්නා වූ නිදහස. අතු ඒකාංශයකින් ලබන නිදහසක් නොවේ. මේ සෑම අංශයකින්ම ලබන නිදහස තමයි අපි නියම නිදහසක් ඇටියට සැලකන්නේ. ධර්මානුකූලව කල්පනා කළොත් නියම නිදහස ඇටියට සැලකන්නේ කායික මානසික වශයෙන් ලබන්නා වූ නිදහස. බුදුදහම තුළින් පුද්ගල ශක්තිය මෙන්ම ස්වාධීනත්වය අගය කළ තියෙනවා. පුද්ගලයාට නිදහසේ ස්වාධීනව ස්වඡන්දයට අනුව, ඒ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ කැමැත්තට අනුව තීන්දුව తీරන අරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්නට අවස්ථාව උපරිමයෙන් ලබා දීලා තියෙන බුදුදහම තුළින්. ඒ වගේම බුදුදහමේ නිදහස් චින්තනය පුද්ගලයාට නිදහසේ කටයුතු කිරීමට අවස්ථාව හිමිලා තියෙනවා. ඒක අපට බුදුදහමෙන් ලැබිච්ච උපරිම නිදහසක්, නැත්නම් උපරිම අවස්ථාවක් ඇටියට සිහිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ බුදුදහමේ අගය කරන චින්තන නිදහස, නැත්නම් නිදහස් චින්තනය හා විමර්ශනය දෙහිවින් අගය කළා තියෙන වගේම අපේ බුදුහාමුදුරු බුද්ධියට අනුව ක්‍රියා කිරීම ඉතාමත් අගය කළා තියෙනවා. තීරණ ගැනීමේදී බුද්ධියට මුල් තැන දෙන්නට කටයුතු කරන්න කියලා උන්වහන්සේ පැහැදිලි කළා තියෙනවා. ඒ බව අපට මේ ත්‍රිපිටකයේ සූත්‍ර දේශනාවලින් පැහැදිලි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. විශේෂයෙන් ඒ විමර්ශන සූත්‍රය, අරිය පරියේෂණ සූත්‍රය, ඒ වගේම බ්‍රහ්මජාල සූත්‍රය, කාලාම සූත්‍රය, මහා පරිනිබ්බාන සූත්‍රය, ඒ වගේම චංකී සූත්‍රය, මහා වේදල්ල සූත්‍රය, මහා තණ්හා සංකේ කියන මේ සූත්‍ර දේශනා වලින් මනමින් එක අපිට පැහැදිලි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. බුදුදහමට අනුව මිනිසා කියලා කියන්නේ උපතින්ම ස්වාධීන පුද්ගලයෙක්. ඒ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ ශ්‍රාවකයන්ට දේශනා කළේ ධර්මය මනමින් දේශනා කළ තියෙනවා. ඒ දේශනා කරපු ධර්මයේ විමසලා විමුක්ත කරලා බලලා තම තමන්ගේ ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂ ඥාණයෙන් මේ ධර්මය අවබෝධ කරගන්න ආදියට තමයි උන්වහන්සේ දේශනා කළේ. බෞද්ධයන් හැටියට අපට බොදුණු තුනුරුවක් තියෙනවා. බෞද්ධ තුනුරුවන කියලා කියන්නේ බුද්ධ ධම්ම සංඝ කියන ඒ තුනුරුවන. ඒ වගේම සිංහලයන් හැටියට, හෙළයන් හැටියට අපිට තියෙනවා හෙළ තෙරුවන. ඒ හෙළ තෙරුවන තමයි බස රැස දේශ තියෙන තෙරුවන. බස කියන්නේ භාෂාව, රස කියන්නේ ජාතිය, දේශ කියන්නේ රට, තමන්ගේ දේශය. පැරණි ජාතිකවාදීන්ගේ අරමුණු මේ රට ජාතිය ආගම වෙනුවට මෙන්න මේ තුනුරුවන ආදේශනය කළේ විශේෂ අදහසක් පෙරදරි කරගෙන අපේ පැරණියත්ෝ විශේෂයෙන් සඳහන් කළේ රට ජාතිය ආගම කියන එක. නමුත් ඒ වෙනුවට තමයි මේ තුනුරුවන ආදේශ කළා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට වඩා උසස් අරමුණකින් තමයි මේ තුනුරුවන ආදේශ කළා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ ජාතිකවාදීන්ගේ ව්‍යාපාරයේ පළමු තැන ගත්තේ භාෂාව. නැත්නම් මේ භාෂාවට අපි කියනවා සිය බස කියලා. තමන්ගේ භාෂාව ඔසවා තැබීම තමයි අවධාරණය කරලා තියෙන්නේ. භාෂාවට තමයි මුල් තැන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෙන් අදහස් කළේ තමන්ගේ භාෂාව ආරක්ෂා වුණොත් තමයි තමන්ගේ ජාතිය ආරක්ෂා වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම තමන්ගේ දේශය, තමන්ගේ රට ආරක්ෂා කිරීමට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙන්නේ භාෂාව ආරක්ෂා වුණොත් පමණයි. ඒ නිසා තමයි භාෂාවට මුල් තැන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. භාෂාව කියන්නේ අපගේ හදවත හැටියටයි සලකලා තියෙන්නේ. අපගේ හදවත ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නේ අපගේ භාෂාව තුළින්. අපේ හදවතේ තියෙන දේවල් තමයි අපි භාෂාවෙන් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නේ. මේක වසර 75කට පමණ පෙර ආතුව මේ භාෂා ප්‍රේමෙන් සිය ජාතික මෙහෙවර මෙහෙවුනේ භාෂාව මුල් කරගෙන, භාෂාව කේන්ද්‍ර කරගෙන තමයි තමන්ගේ නිදහස් රටන ආරම්භ කළේ. ඒ භාෂාව වල්වදිනකොට ජාතියත් රටත් වල්වදින බව තමයි ඒ දේශ ප්‍රේමීන් නැත්නම් භාෂා ප්‍රේමීන් සඳහන් කළේ. ඒ භාෂා ප්‍රේමීන් එක පුනපුනා සඳහන් කළා අපේ බස තමයි රටක මුල් තැන ගත යුත්තේ කියන අදහස. තමන්ගේ මව් බස කෙරෙහි ප්‍රමාණවත් අගයක් අවධානයක් භාවිතයේදී යොදන්නේ නැත්නම් එළබස මලබසක් වෙන බව තමයි මේ භාෂා ප්‍රේමීන් සඳහන් කළේ. තමන්ගේ මව් භාෂාව නිවැරදිව වහරන්නේ නැත්නම් විවහාරයට ගන්න නැත්නම් ඒ භාෂාව මල භාෂාවක් හැටියට සඳහන් කළේ. මල භාෂාවක් කියන්නේ මෙරිච්ච භාෂාවක්. භාවිතයෙන් තොර භාෂාවක් බවට පත් වෙන බව තමයි මේ භාෂා ප්‍රේමයෙන් සඳහන් කළේ. ඒ නිසා මව් බස වරද්දා ගැනීම, තමන්ගේ මාතෘ භාෂාව වරද්දා ගැනීම මුල වරද්දා ගැනීමක් හැටියට සඳහන් කළේ. ඒ නිසා අපි භාෂාව නිසිලෙස භාවිත නොකිරීම නිසා ජාතියක් වශයෙන් තමන්ගේ අනන්‍යතාව වගේම අනාගත දියුණුව එනහිටින්න පුළුවන් කියන එක තමයි අවධාරණය කළේ. අපේ අනන්‍යතාවය අපිට ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න පුළුවන් වන්නේ අපේ මව් භාෂ තුලින්. ඒතර මව් භාෂ දන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ ජාතියට, තමන්ගේ දේශයට ආදරයක් නැහැ කියන අදහස තමයි ඔවුන් සඳහන් කළේ. ඒ වගේම මේ ලෝකයේ තියෙන සජීවී භාෂා අතර ඉතාම අලංකාර වූ භාෂා පහක් ගැන සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ පහ ගැන අවධානයට ලක් කරලා තියෙනවා. අන්නේ අවධානයට ලක් වෙච්ච භාෂා අතුරින් එක භාෂාවක් තමයි අපේ සිංහල භාෂාව. එළබස. එළබස ඉතාම ගීතවත් භාෂාවක් හැටියට සඳහන් වෙන්නේ. ඒ ගීතවත් භාෂ අනෙක් භාෂාවන් අතර, ලෝකයේ තියෙන අනෙක් භාෂාවන් අතර ඉතාම ප්‍රමුඛ භාෂාවක් හැටියට ඒ භාෂා ප්‍රේමීන් සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි මව් භාෂ ගැන මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයෙන් අවධාරණය කළා තියෙන්නේ. උගන්න සිය භාෂ මත්වන්න එහි රසයෙන් දකින්නෙහි මහඟු බව කියා දෙන්න අනුන්ට. තමන්ගේ මව් භාෂාව ගැන දැනගෙන ඒකේ රසයෙන් මත් වෙලා අනිත් අයටත් මේ භාෂාව කියා දෙන්න කියන එකයි ඒ පැදින් කියන්නේ. ඒ වගේම හෙළයන් අභිමුව හෙළ අදහස් හෙළ බසින් හෙළනු බැරි නම් කෙතෙක් පරබස් දතද කුමටය. අපි මව් භාෂාව දන්නා පුද්ගලයන් හැටියට මව් භාෂාව දැනගෙන ඒ මව් භාෂාවෙන් තමන්ගේ හෙළයන්, තමන්ගේ සිංහලයන් ඉදිරියේම වෙන භාෂාවකින් අපි කතා කරනවා. ඒක ගැන අපි ලැජ්ජා වෙන්නට ඕන. තමන්ගේ මව් භාෂෙන් අනිත් අය අමතන්න බැරි නම් අපි කොයිතරම් පරබස් වෙනත් අන්‍ය භාෂාවන් දැනගත්තත් වැඩක් නැහැ කියන එකයි ඒ පැහැදිලිව අවධාරණය කළ තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි අපේ මව්බස නිවැරදිව ව්‍යවහාර කරන්නට ඉගෙන ගන්නට ඕන. ඒ භාවිත කිරීම අභිමානයක් ලෙස අපි හිතන්නට ඕන. තමන්ගේ මව්බසෙන් කතා කරන්න, තමන්ගේ මව්බසෙන් ව්‍යවහාර කරන්න දැන ගැනීම ලැජ්ජාවක් කොට හිතන්නේ නැතුව ඒක අභිමානයක් ඇටියට අපි හිතන්නට ඕන. එතකොට තමයි තමන් මේ භාෂාවට ආදරයක් දක්වනවා නම් තමයි තමන්ගේ ජාතියට, තමන්ගේ රටට නියම ආදරයක් ඇති වෙන්නේ. අන්න ඊළඟට මේ තුනුරුවනේ දෙවෙනි කරුණ තමයි රස කියලා කියන්නේ. රස කියලා කියන්නේ ජාතිය. භාෂාවෙන් තමයි රස නැත්නම් ජාතිය කියන එක නැගී සිටින්නේ. ඊළඟට ඒ රස නැත්නම් ඒ ජාතිය නිසා තමයි දේශය කියන එක ආරක්ෂා වෙන්නේ, රට. ඒතර භාෂ නිසා ජාතිය ආරක්ෂා වෙනවා. ජාතිය නිසා දේශය නැත්නම් රට කියන එක ආරක්ෂා වෙනවා. ඒකෝට ඒ කරුණු තුන එකට බැඳිලා තියෙන කරුණු තුනක්. ජාතියක් වශයෙන් අප නැගී සිටින්නට නම් තම කුසලතාවයන්, ඒ වගේම දැනුම, හැකියාව, රටේ සහ ජාතියේ අනාගතයේ උදෙසා අපි යොදවන්නට අදිස්ථාන කරගන්නට ඕන. අපි යම්කිසි දැනුමක් තිබෙනවා නම්, යම්කිසි අවබෝධයක් තිබෙනවා නම්, ඒ අවබෝධය තමන්ගේ රටේ, තමන්ගේ ජාතියේ අභිවෘද්ධිය පිණිසයි අපි යොදාගත යුත්තේ. දැන් අපේ මව්වා දිනේ සිංහල කියන නම හැදුණු පිළිබඳව විවිධ අර්ථකථන දක්වනවා. එලයන් දක්වන්නේ සිව් හෙළ කියලා කියන්නේ කරුණු හතරක් නිසා. ඒ කියන්නේ කොටස් හතරක් එකතු වෙලා තමයි මේ සිව් හෙළ කියන වචනේ හැදුනා කියලා අදහස් කරන්නේ. යක්ක නැත්නම් යක්ෂ, නාග, රාක්ෂ, දේව කියන මේ ජන කොටස් හතර එකතු වෙලා තමයි සිව් හෙළ සිංහල වුණා කියන එක අදහස් කළා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර හෙළ කියලා කියන්නේ සුද්ධ කියන தත්ත්වය, සුද්ධ භාවය. නැත්නම් ශ්වේත භාවය, සුපිරිසුදු භාවය කියන අර්ථයෙන් තමයි හෙළ කියන වචනය අර්ථවත් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර මේ හෙළ කියන පදය හෙළු, එළ, එළු ආදී සමාන අදහස් පද පසු විදියා බව තමයි බොහෝ දෙනා සැලකන්නේ. ඒ හෙළ කියන වචනයෙන්ම තමයි මේ වචන විදිලාවයි කියලා බොහෝ දෙනා අදහස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි යමක් ඉතා හොඳයි, ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨයි කියන අදහස තමයි හෙළ, එළ, කිරි වැනි වගේ වචන අපි භාවිත කරන්නේ. ඒතර පැරණි වචන වලට තමයි අපේ සිංහල වචන තමයි එළ කියන වචනේ ඉදලා තියෙන්නේ. එළ කිරි කියලා කියන්නේ හෙළයාගේ කිරි කියන අර්ථය. එළ බටු කියන්නේ හෙළයාගේ බටු. අන්න ඒ විදිහට එළ කියලා කියන්නේ ඉතා උසස්, ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ, සුදු කියන අර්ථයෙන් තමයි එළ කියන වචනය යෙදුණයි කියන එක අපේ පැරණි වහරට අනුව හිතන්නට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙනවා. සුද්ධ භාවයේ ඒ ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨත්වයට පත්වෙච්ච අපේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ හඳුන්වනවා සීහ හෙළ කියන අර්ථයෙන්. ඒ වගේම මේ ලෝකයේ ගත්තොත් හැම රටකම ලෝකයේ පැතිරලා තියෙන ජාතිවාදය කියන එක. නමුත් ජාතිවාදය, ජාතිකවාදය කියලා වචන දෙකක් තියෙනවා මේ ලෝකේ. ජාතිවාදය කියලා කියන්නේ සකීය ජාතියේ උන්නතිය සඳහා කියලා අපි සෙසු ජාතීන් මර්ධනය කරන එක. තමන්ගේ ජාතිය උසස්, අනිත් අය පහත් කියලා කල්පනා කරමින් අනික් ජාතීන් නොඑක ආකාරයෙන් මර්ධනය කිරීම තමයි ජාතිවාදය කියලා කියන්නේ. නමුත් ජාතිකවාදය කියන්නේ ඊට වඩා වෙනස් අර්ථයක්. ජාතිකවාදය කියලා කියන්නේ උත්තරීතර සංකල්පයක්. තමන්ගේ උත්පත්තිය සමග අපිට යම් සංස්කෘතියක්, සම්ප්‍රදායක් අපිට උරුම වෙනවා. අන්නේ උරුමයට යම් තර්ජනයක් වෙනවා නම් ඊට එළි වෙලා නැගී සිටීම තමයි අපේ පරම අයිතිය. ඒක තමයි ජාතිකවාදය කියලා කියන්නේ. අන්නේ ඒක කිසියෙකුට ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ. අපි හැමදිනාටම ඔවුනොවුන්ගේ ජාතිය පිළිබඳ අභිමානයක් තියෙනවා. අන්නේ අභිමානය ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීම ඒ තමන්ගේ අයිතියක්. ඒ නිසා මාතෘ භාෂාවට නැත්නම් මව්බසට වගේම මව් බිමටත් තමන්ගේ අම්මට වගේ සලකන්නට ඒ කියලා මිනිස් සමාජය තුළ, විශේෂයෙන් ආසියාතික සමාජය තුළ පැතිරලා තියෙන අදහසක්. ඒ නිසා තමයි පැරණියත් සඳහන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ ජනනී ජන්ම භූමිච්ච ස්වර්ගාතති ගරියසි කියලා. තමන්ගේ උපන් බිමත් තමන් බිහි කළ අම්මා දෙන්නම එක හා සමාන කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ ජන්ම භූමිය කියන එක උපන් දීම කියන එක තමන්ගේ මෑණියන්ට සමාන කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ තරම් උසස් කොට සලකන්නට කියලා තමයි අපේ පැරණි පඬිවරු සඳහන් කළා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපේ අනාගත දේශීය අනන්‍යතාවය, ඒකීයභාවය, ඒ භාෂාව ලැබිච්ච සංස්කෘතිය සભ્યත්වය ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීම හැම දිනාගේම වගකීමක් හැටියටයි සලකන්නට ඕන. අපේ මව්බිම වෙනුවෙන් යුතුයකම් ඉටු කළා අවසන් ගමන් යන්නට හැකිනම් තමන්ගේ දේශයට ණයගැති පුද්ගලයෙක් වන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා ඒ ඕදන අපගේ හිත තුළ තැන්පත් කරගන්නට වටිනවා. ඒ අදහස දක්වන පැදියක් අපේ පැරණි එළයන් දක්වලා තියෙනවා. රටට දැයට හිත දපා මදකට දෙවි ලොබ ලොපා කල මිනියක් නැති දෙපා එළයපු දැකුමත් එපා. එළේ කැටියට නම් අපේ රටට අපේ ජාතියට ආදරය දක්වලා අපි යම් විදිහේ මෙහෙයක් කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒ ජීවිතේම වැඩක් නැහැ කියන එකයි පැහැදිලිව දක්වලා තියෙන නිසා අපි කැපවීමෙන් අපේ දේශයට අපේ ජාතියට යම්ම මෙහෙයක් කරන්නට අපි අදිස්ථාන කරගන්න ඕන. ඒ අදිස්ථාන කර ගැනීම තමයි බස රස දේශ කියන ඒ හෙළ තෙරුවන ආරක්ෂා කරගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ. අන්නේ හෙළ තෙරුවන ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීමට අද දවසේ අදිස්ථාන කරගන්නා හැටියට සිහිපත් කරනවා. හැම දිනකටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
සාදු සාදු සාදු. ඒ උතුම් ධර්මානුශාසනාව සිදු කරන ලැබුවේ දික්වැල්ල මාතර වැවුරු කන්නල බුදුරජාණන් මහා විහාරස්ථානයේ විද්‍යාතුංග පිරිවෙනේ පරිවෙනාධිපතිව වැඩ වාසය කළ දැනට බර්ලින් බෞද්ධ විහාරයේ අනුශාසක වශයෙන් කටයුතු කරන දික්වැල්ලේ සීල සුමන පඬිත් හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ ඉතා වටිනා ධර්මානුශාසනාවක් අපිට ධර්ම දානමය පිනක් හැටියට උන්වහන්සේ ලබලා දුන්නා. බුදුදහම, ඒ වගේම ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජාතිය, සිංහල භාෂාව කියන්නේ මොනතරම් ආධ්‍යාත්මික ගුණයක් තියෙන, ඒ වගේම බොහොම ප්‍රෞಢ භාවයක් තියෙන ඒ භාෂාව වගේම ජාතික හැඟීම් අපිට නැත්නම් අපේ ජීවිතයට වෙන පරිහානිය පිළිබඳව පැහැදිලි කරමින් ඉතා වටිනා අනුශාසනාවක් සිද්ධ කරන්නට යෙදුණා. විවිධ අය ජාතික දිනය පිළිබඳ විවිධ මත කියන්නට පුළුවන්. තාමත් වහල් මානසිකත්වය කියන්නට පුළුවන්. නොයෙක් විදිහට කියන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් වර්ෂයකට වතාවක් හරි ජාතියක් හැටියට ජාති ආගම් කුල මල ભેද වලින් තොරව එකතුව ශ්‍රී ලාංකික හැටියට එකතු වීමක් කරගන්නට අපේ මානසික ශක්තිය, අපේ අනිකුත් ශිල්ප ශක්තියන් එකතු කරලා මෙබඳු අවස්ථාවක් සකස් කර ගැනීම මා හිතනවා අපිට ඉතා වටිනා අවස්ථාවක් කියලා. මේ අවස්ථාවේ ඉතා වටිනා අනුශාසනාවක් සිදු කළ දික්වැල්ලේ සීල සුමන පඬිත් හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට අපි නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා, ආශිර්වාද කරනවා. ආශිර්වාද කරමින් හැම දිනකටම සෙත් පතමින් අපි සෙත් පිරිත් දේශනාව සිදු කරමු. We are now going to make the blessing chanting, wishing everyone all the good health and protection. Especially today, we take this opportunity to bless you all, to overcome all the difficulties. Still people are going through very difficult time, and may those blessings be a great healing, great protection for you all. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Jnanida bhutani samagatani Bummani vayani va antalinge දේව භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝ පිලංගංච සුනන්තු භාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමේත සම්බේ මෙත්තං කරෝත මානුසියා පදාය විවාචරන්තෝච හරන්ති ඒ බලින් තස්මාහි මේ රංගත අප්පමන්තායං කිංචි විත්තං ඉදවා උරං වාසංගේ සුවායං රතනම් මනීතං මනෝ සමං අත්ති තථාගතේන ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනම් පනීතං ඒතේන සංජේන සුවන්ති යෝතුං අයං විරාගං අමතං පනීතං යදං ජගා සංඛ්‍ය මුනි සමායිතෝ නතේන ධම්මේන සමන්ති කිංචි ධම්පි ධම්මේ රතනම් පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවන්ති හෝතු ඊනං පුරාණං නවං අන්ති සම්භවං විරන්ත චින්තායති කේවස්මින් ඒකීන බීජා අවිරෝ චන්දා නිම්බන්ති දීරා යතයන් පදීපෝ ඉදං පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන අන්තේන සුවන්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි ගුම්මානි වායානිද අන්තරින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි ගුම්මානි වායානිද අන්තරින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං නමස්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි ගුම්මානි වායානිද අන්තරින්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්තිතේ හෝතු සම්දදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සම්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං හරණීය මත්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අපි සමෙච්ච සක්කෝ උජුච සෝජුච සුවචෝ දස්ස මුදවනති මානි සන්තුස්ස කෝච සුබරෝච අම්බගිච්ඡෝච සල්ලෞක බුන්ති සම්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපගෝච අම්බගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුගින්දෝ නච කුන්දං සමාචරේ කිංචේන විඤ්ඤෝ පරේ උපපදේයං සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හොන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා යේකේ චිපාන භූතත්ති තසවාතාවරාවානවලේසා දීගාවායේ මහන්තාවා මජ්ජිමාරස්සකානුකතුලා නිත්තාවායේව අද්දිත්තායේච දුරේ වසන්තය විදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේ සීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත නාති මඤ්ඤේත ගන්තතිනං කංචි යාරෝසනා පටිග සංඥානාඤ්ඤ මඤ්ඤස්ස දුංග මිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියං පුත්තං ආයසායේක උන්ද මනුරංකේ එවං පි සම්බ භූතේසු මාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණං මෙත්තං ච සම්බ ලෝකස්මින් මාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණං Uddang adocha tiriyancha asambadang averang asavandang tindang charang nisinno vasayano vayavatam surikatamindo etam sating aditteya brahmanetam viharang idamāhu dittinca anupagamma sīlavādassanena sampanno āme suvineyya getam aidātu gambaseyam punareti tena saccavajjena sottite hotu sampradāyetena saccavajjena sambarogo vinassato etena saccavajjena hotu te dayamangalang yandum nimittang avamangalanca yocamanapo sapunandando papagga hodusu pinannakantang buddhanubhavena vinasamentu yandum nimittang avamangalanca yocamanapo sapunassandu papagga hodusu pinannakantang dhammanubhavena vinasamentu yandum nimittang avamangalanca yocamanapo sapunassandu papagga hodusu pinannakantang sanghanubhavena vinasamentu dukkhapattaca niddukka bhayam pattaca nibbhayam sokapattaca nissoka hontu sabbe pipanino sabbe buddha balapatta paccekananta ambalam arayantananta tejena rakkam bandhami daggaso devo vassatu kalena sassa sampattiyetu ca pito bhavatu lokoca raja bhavatu brahmiko sadhu sadhu sadhu. Now we are going to start our English Dhamma sermon. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, supremely enlightened Lord Buddha. Blessing to you all, dear children, parents, and also friends in the Dhamma. Today we regularly have this Dhamma Dana, sharing the teachings of the Buddha. Giving a Dhamma sermon, listening to the Dhamma is the highest meritorious activity. So that can be transferred to our loved ones, also share the merits with our loved ones. So may this be a very special meritorious activity that fulfills all of your aspirations. Today we have a title for this Dhamma sermon. The title is The Taste of Freedom in Buddhism, and also celebrating the 73rd Sri Lankan National Independence Day. There are two concepts. The second concept is celebrating the 73rd Sri Lankan National Independence Day, that I am not going to spend much time talking about it, because there are about 30-40 children being lined up with excellent presentations and abundant wisdom to illuminate your minds and your hearts with lot of information and presentation. So I am not going to talk that much on this Sri Lankan Independence Day. As you know, Sri Lanka historically is a very proud country, proud nation, over 2,600 years old heritage, culture, wisdom, incomparable skills are being developed. We are part and parcel of that heritage that we've been developed for over 26 centuries. And when we think of our chronicle, Mahavansa, historical book, even that is one of the oldest written historical books that we have so much to be proud of. When some other people talk about their skills and things, even the Tripitaka was scriptured, put into writing over 20 centuries ago. So therefore, we are not a simple nation and we are not a simple culture. That is being blessed by even the Buddha. Even Buddhism is very historical religion, philosophy, over 26 centuries old. However, we talk about an independence or freedom. To get the freedom, we should have done something wrong. We haven't. But we were being taken over, invaded by many people at different times because our humbleness, our hospitality sometimes may be abused or overused. So, however, today we talk about the independence being ruled by the British as a colonized country for over 133 years. On 1948, we're supposed to be free to look after ourselves and stand ourselves. However, when we look back 73 years, we can't really be proud of as either developing country or the developed country. So there are lots of space to development. What we do, when we come to the Independence Day, we normally, government has a very official celebration. They even release some prisoners who are being sentenced for death penalty. And some are being also standing there for a long time. The government release some prisoners and also do some religious activities, and every household, every government office, they hoist a national flag. So that is not enough because we have every resources being 2,600 years old heritage is our country being blessed with. That is only I would like to say that we need to be proud and do something for our country, our nation, our language, to uphold that special duty. Even Buddha himself recognized that would be the land that for over 5,000 years, the prestige, purity of the teachings will exist. Let's take back into the second title of the day today as Dhammadana. We would thought of also sharing some teachings of the Buddha. Lord Buddha explained in Anguttara Nikaya, Chatuttaka Nipata, Anubuddha Sutta, there are 4 things by realizing, by understanding, one gets the freedom from suffering. Liberation, the true liberation, the true independence, true freedom. What are those 4 practices as explained in Anubuddha Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya? The practice of morality, sila, the practice of meditation, samadhi, the practice of wisdom, panya, the practice of vimukti, the freedom, liberation. So I am just going to say a few thoughts about what is this vimukti, the taste of freedom, liberation in Buddhism. That is none other than practicing the Noble Eightfold Path and gain the true liberation, true freedom. Once Buddha said, Yo rupan kameti, so dukkam kameti. Yo dukkam kameti, so rupam kameti. If someone is interested to find the pleasure in the sensual things, that person certainly interested in the suffering as well. In the other way, if someone is interested in suffering, that means that person is interested in sensual, desire-based, greed things. In that note, there are two types of pleasures: happiness, joy. One aspect called sensual pleasures. The other one is called freedom, taste of freedom, what we call kama sukha, which is sensual pleasure. The second one is called vimukti sukha, which is the taste of freedom, pleasure of freedom. Let us think of what is kama sukha, the pleasure, enjoying our sensual pleasures. In our everyday world, if we are always entertaining the forms, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the sensations, and the thoughts, and also sometimes in our pleasure-seeking world, we enjoy food, drinks, clothes, some other ornaments, maybe shoes, jewelries, gems, sometimes valuables, even in constant need of earning money, making rich. Also, we enjoy and entertain with our household wives, husbands, people we like, and so forth. These are called kama sukha, sensual pleasures, which is the opposite of vimukti sukha, which is the taste of freedom. So this taste of freedom is called avedaita sukha, which means you can't really experience that pleasure. Whereas kama sukha is called vedaita sukha, that you can experience. The happiness of Nibbana is called avedaita sukha, which does not involve contact with sense objects. It is difficult to conceptualize or to believe the experience of this realization unless it is experienced for oneself. Even though the both are called pleasures or happiness, the Nibbana, the Vimukti, the liberation is not an experiential one. So like the Kama Sukha, the sensual pleasure. So when I say that it is not an experience that you can enjoy, people are quite reluctant. They want something to enjoy. But then when you enjoy, it becomes sensual pleasure and it also invites the suffering. Once it becomes avedaita sukha, beyond our experience, rather realization, then you put an end to the suffering, which is very interesting. Therefore, this Nibbana, the liberation, freedom, complete freedom from craving, anger, and ignorance is called Vimukti Sukha. For example, just think of that you have a headache. You take some medicine. Then you call it, my headache is being healed, or I got well, or I'm feeling good. All these words refer to the pleasure or happiness, maybe healed, got well, or feeling good. 3 words, but 1 meaning. Therefore, it talks about free from that suffering. However, these type of suffering are changing than the speed of light. So they are impermanent. Whereas freedom from suffering, which we call Vimukti Sukha or liberation, is not something changing. It's durable. It lasts forever. Whereas when we have the sensual pleasures, it comes and goes. It becomes otherwise. Whereas if one achieves this vimukti sukha, that is permanent, that goes forever. At the time of the Buddha in India, called Saketa Nuwara, there was a rich lady and she had a headache for 7 years. Then he consulted a doctor called Jivaka by that time. So she got cured. She felt very happy and paid 4,000 rupees in that time. Her son also was very happy that mother was being cured, and that son was also gave as a gift of 4,000. Son's wife also being happy gave a gift of 4,000, and the husband of this rich lady also gave 4,000, and also a male servant and also female servant, and also a horse cart. If it is like today, maybe BMW or Mercedes-Benz car. Because they felt so happy, this mother or lady got cured from this doctor. So the doctor was very happy. So you can see, if somebody helps someone to be free from that, that is being highly rewarded and appreciated, because we all love for freedom. There was another rich person at the time of the Buddha. He also had a long-lasting headache. He consulted a doctor. Then doctor asked, if I cure that, what would you give to me? Then this person said, I will give every wealth I have. He was a very rich man. In addition, I will become a male servant of you as well. Can you just imagine how much this freedom from suffering, how much value to them? If you value get rid of headache is £1, how many times you get headaches in a life? So how much it means? In the same way, you know, what we call freedom from, complete freedom from life is to overcome the death, going into state of deathlessness, which is very interesting concept. You know, we have this pandemic, everybody is scared of it because it is deadly, it is serious. Nobody wants that. But if one can stop one death, say it is £1 worth job, what about if we go into the samsara, the countless death we experience, not 100, not 1,000, not 100,000, not even 100,000 millions, it is incalculable. So the freedom in Buddhist terms is to free from this death and birth cycle. How much it worth? And it is incalculable, immeasurable value. So that is the freedom we talk about in Buddhism that we all need to gain. For that, we need to practice morality, meditation, wisdom, and also vimukti, which is freedom. May this Dhamma sermon brings you the courage and the necessary blessings to overcome that true freedom in our life and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. With that, now I would pass on to our Rasikaya to go ahead with this well look forward program on Independence Day celebration. Especially, I would like to take a few minutes to think of our sponsors for the day, which made us enable to host this program. May all the aspirations be fulfilled. If you would like to sponsor these regular Saturday programs, please let us know that you can be part of very special Dhamma Dana blessing programs and to share the blessing with your loved ones or good purposes in life. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Teruvan Saranai Hamdrune, Teruvan Saranai Sielu Denadama. Welcome to this special program, which we are celebrating today, the Independence Day, Independence celebration of year 2021, which is the 73rd year. So we have been celebrating this Independence Day in Dhamma School for the last 9 years. And it was done face to face. But this time, we are doing it online due to obvious reasons. And it's a great pleasure to see lots of people join. So our Naik Hamaduru explained that the independence, what is independence? And it is the social, economical, and political freedom for people. And Samit Hamaduru was explaining the importance of having freedom from the Dhamma point of view. And our children are going to analyze what happened before independence. And we have had 3 invasions, and what happened during those times, and how we fought, whether it was with weapons, whether it was with discussions, and who won, how we won the freedom. It was a whole struggle, but we won it 73 years ago. And we have been celebrating it ever since, because it was a great achievement for the whole nation. And we have done something really well, because it has left us to celebrate that occasion. So without taking much time, I would explain to you what we are going to do now, is to give our children a chance to explain from the first invasion and go through what are the significance events that took place until 24th of February in 1948. And after that, some of our children will sing some patriotic songs as well. And at the end, we'll sing the national anthem and finish the program. So to start with, I would invite Hasindu to start the program. Thank you.
Suba Sandhyawak Veva Gauravaniya Swamin Vahansela Genut Adaraniya Rasika Mama Genut Avsarai. Dear brothers and sisters, today we are going to mark a very significant event in the Sri Lankan history, the 73rd Independence Day. When we look into the Independence Day of Sri Lanka and the events before that, one fascinating fact that we cannot avoid is that the country was under the control of 3 European countries consecutively, of which the first foreign nationals to come to Sri Lanka was the Portuguese. The Portuguese arrived in Sri Lanka in 1505. A fleet of ships, commanded by Lawrence de Almeida, was caught into a storm and blown into the country by strong winds. At that time, there were 3 main kingdoms in Sri Lanka, namely Kotte, Kandy, and Jaffna. The king of Kotte, King Veera Parakramabahu, received the Portuguese in a very amiable manner. Realizing the commercial and strategic values, the Portuguese returned to the island again. and in 1518, they were allowed to build a fort in Colombo area and trade. At first, they mainly focused on seeking control of commerce and the production of valuable cinnamon. However, they were later drawn into the island's internal politics with the political disruption Vijay Kollair. King Vijay Bahu VI was the son of King Veera Parakrama Bahu and came to the throne in 1513 AD. He had 3 sons, namely Bhuvanika Bahu, Raigam Bandara, and Maya Dunne from his first wife. After the demise of his wife, he took another queen in marriage, who had a son called Rajasinghe. This queen wanted her son to be the next king. So the king Vijay Bahu planned to murder his 3 older sons. When the 3 sons realized their father's plan, they left the kingdom for safety and organized an army to fight against their father. In the end, King Vijay Bahu VI was assassinated, and the kingdom was divided between the 3 brothers. This was called the Vijay Kollair. Now, our friend Manuka will tell you more about the division of the Sinhala kingdom. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the Sinhalese kingdom during the Dutch intervention. The island was ruled by the second king Jayasinghe when the Dutch invaded the country in 1658, and king's power was restricted in Kandyan kingdoms only in 1660. Mostly coastal areas and some cities, including Colombo, were under the Dutch's control. After the death of King Jayasinghe, a few kings ruled the country, and they were second, Wimala Surya, Veera Narendra Singha, Sri Vijaya Rajasinghe, and Kirti Sri Rajasinghe. During this time, kings fought against Dutch rulers to get the power back. The Dutch governor ruled the country along with the Dutch judicial system. He established 3 main divisions, and they are well motivated in trade of cinnamon, gemstones, and pearls. Dewan Saranai.
Thank you, Monica Aya. Today I'm going to talk about Mandura Bandava. Mandura Bandava, a child hero. Mandura Bandava, this child hero in Sri Lanka, is now as national hero for this fame at young age of 9. He was the second son of LA police family. He had one big brother and little sister. Because of King's anger with Mandura Bandava's father, he ordered LA police family to be killed on 17th of May 1814. It was older brother who had to face death first, but he is scared to come forward and hide. Seeing fear of older brother, Mandura Bandava came forward and said, "Dear brother, do not be afraid. I will show you how to die." He ordered executor to cut his head, saying, "I am ready. Cut my head in one attempt." From that moment, he became a national hero. Thank you, Charan and Samanmali.
Before I start my presentation, I would wish everyone a happy Independence Celebration Day. Today I'm going to tell you about what the Dutch did to Sri Lanka of the period when they ruled the country. There were good things as well as bad things happened at that time. I believe all of you know when Portuguese came to Sri Lanka. It happened before the Dutch came to Sri Lanka. First of all, we need to know who Dutch is. The Dutch is known as Netherlands or Holland. Also in Sri Lanka, they were popular as Landesi. The Dutch colonized the coastal area of Sri Lanka for 156 years, and they existed from 1640 to 1796. The Dutch was invited by the Sri Lankans to help fight the Portuguese. They signed the Kandyan Treaty of 1638 with King Jayasinghe II. The Dutch rule in Sri Lanka was implemented through the Dutch East Indian Company called the VOC. This is the flag of the VOC. Now we are moving on to see how they have governing Sri Lanka periodically. At the very first, they captured Trincomalee. Then they gradually controlled some parts inland, such as Galle, Jaffna, and Colombo. But they were never able to control the Kandyan kingdom. They divided the country to 3 administrative divisions, which were Colombo, Galle, and Jaffna. Colombo was ruled by the governor, while Galle and Jaffna were ruled by commanders. It was not difficult for them to capture Sri Lanka because they were invited by King Jayasinghe II. Finally, there is a very famous saying among Sri Lankan people, which is Inguru di la miris katta wage. The meaning of that is Dutch is worse than Portuguese. Now we will see how they introduced the law system to the country. They introduced Roman Dutch laws in 18th century. The Dutch law system was well organized. There were 3 major courts of justice in Colombo, Galle, and Jaffna. Let's talk about what the religion and language is spread. They have built Roman Catholic churches in their ruling areas. There were more than 250 new Landesi words added to the Sinhala language, such as Artapal, Spiritale, and Estopua. However, it was of great significance to Sri Lanka's economic development. They introduced the new commercial crops such as cinnamon and betel. As you can see in the screen, had become very important items in the export trade in Sri Lanka. Furthermore, how the Dutch affected Sri Lankan cultural and social situation will be explained by my friend Seth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Methul Aya. Today, I'm going to talk about the social and cultural situation during the Dutch intervention in Sri Lanka. Dutch Ceylon existed from 1640 until 1796. Although the Dutch managed to capture most of the coastal areas in Sri Lanka, they were never able to control the Kandyan kingdom located in the interior of the island. The Dutch impact turned out to be of greater significance than their predecessors, the Portuguese. They introduced a common law that prevails today and left a legacy of their architecture. Forts, churches, hospitals, and residences. Architecture is the most aesthetic aspect of the Dutch cultural influence. In Colombo, the Dutch hospital, built in 1681, was one of the most advanced medical facilities in Asia, enhanced by its outstanding architecture. The hospital has been renovated and is the location of a shopping and dining centre in Colombo now. The Dutch-built fort at Gol is so well preserved that it was designed a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1988. And within its walls, there are still many Dutch houses with their distinctive architecture. Low roofs with ornate gables, wide hospital doorways, street-facing verandas, and plant-filled courtyards. To swell their presence in the island, the Dutch encouraged middle-class traders and businessmen in Holland, known as burghers, to migrate to the colonies to generate business, especially in trading centres such as Gol. The Dutch contribution to the island's culinary fare is varied. Most distinctive is lampreis. Lampreis is an enhanced version of the traditional rice and curry. The rice is boiled in stock and accompanied by hot relishes and Dutch meatballs. The whole is moistened with coconut milk, wrapped in a banana leaf to enhance the flavour, and baked to produce a meal for special occasions. The other additions from Dutch cuisine are bredel, a type of cake with plums and sultans traditionally eaten at Christmas, kokis, eaten at Sinhala Tamil New Year, egg-rolang, pofati, and the humble stew. As a result of the Dutch interventions, some words were added to Sinhala language. These were called loan words. Some examples are tea, kopi, coffee, vatara, water, lachaya, drawers, ketelia, kettle, and kopia, cup. The Dutch also introduced the playing cards and the draughts. European furniture such as chairs, sofas, tables, and cabinets were manufactured. While colonialism cannot be condoned, the Dutch were relatively peaceful imperialists compared to the Portuguese, and their social and cultural influence was more pronounced. Thank you for listening, Teron Sarna.
Thank you, Setaya. I would like to draw your attention about the Sir C.W.W. Kannangara. Christopher William Vijayakon Kannangara was born on 13th October in 1884 in Balapitiya, Go district in Sri Lanka. He was born to an average family, but he had to undergo many difficulties at his young age. Young Kannangara, who had his early education at Wesleyan High School at Ambalangoda and Richmond College School. He was an outstanding student in both academic and sports. Moreover, first he served as a teacher, then he passed out as an attorney at law in 1910. C.W.W. Kannangara entered politics in 1919. As a Minister of Education, he introduced extensive changes to the education system of Sri Lanka. He introduced free education for all without considering racial status. In addition, he established a central school scheme in rural areas of the country. Sir Kannangara's significant achievements in areas of education had led him to be known as father of free education in Sri Lanka. This is a poster of C.W.W. Kannangara, who led the independence movement of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for your attention. Everyone, Samanmali.
Thank you, Chandrasena. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Kingdom of Kandy. The Kingdom of Kandy was the independent monarchy of the island of Sri Lanka, located in the central and eastern portion of the island. It was founded in the late 15th century and endured until the early 19th century. The Kandyan period covers the history of Sri Lanka from 1597 to 1815. After the fall of the Kingdom of Kotte, the Kandyan Kingdom was the last independent monarchy of Sri Lanka. The Kandyan Kingdom was first established by Chandrasena Vikrabahu. Also, King Rajasinghe II, Kirti Sri Rajasinghe, Sri Rajasinghe, Rajasinghe were very famous kings in period of Kandyan Kingdom. Sri Vikramsinghe was the last monarch to rule Sri Lanka. After he was captured by the British in 1815, it ended the history of Sri Lanka, self-government monarchical rule. During his reign, he completed the Dambulla Dhamaligawa temple by building the Patirupa. The Great Rebellion of 1817 and 1818 took place in former of Kandyan Kingdom after 2 years of being captured by the British. Avashaka will tell you more details information of British inventions of Sri Lanka. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Aya. I'm going to talk about Gongondali Banda. On 26th of July, 1840, the leaders and the supporters entered the historic Dambulla Vihara and the Gongondali Banda was crowned by the head priest of Dambulla. According to the head priest of Dambulla, Gongondali Banda was called Sir Wickham. Sabbath after the ceremony of the king, he left Dambulla with his army via Mattu to capture Kandy from the British. They act government bullying Spakely the Mattu Khatri and destroying the tax records. Also, they act Karamagala, where 8 people were shot dead by the British army. On 21 September 1848, Gongondali Banda was arrested by soldiers at Ekatawa and was brought of Kandy. The judgment of the Supreme Court was that he would be hanged on 1st January 1849.
29 December 1848 to emerge the death sentence to falling 100 times and early, then sent into early in Malacca, now Malaysia. He died on 1st December 1849 in Malacca. Gangandali Banda was one of the famous heroes in Sri Lanka. Thank you for thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Senut and Sarah. Now I'm going to say my presentation. Serponambalam Arunachalam. Personal details. He was a Ceylon Tamil civil servant and a member of the Executive Council of Ceylon and a Legislative Council of Ceylon. Born 14th September 1853, Colombo, Sri Lanka. Parents, Panambalam Selechii Amma. Studies, Royal College, Colombo, Christ College, Cambridge, University of Cambridge. Died 9th January 1924, Madurai, India. His vision, he unstinted on commitment to his dream of unity is strength, illustrated the strong unity that existed at that time among the people of Ceylon when Sinhalese, Tamil, Moors, Burghers were united in their approach of social reform. The final. He was an exhausted and tired genius. He understood human's nature and became more forgiving and kindness. At the end of 1923, he undertook a pilgrimage in India. In the midst of his devotion at Madurai in South India, he passed away on 9th January 1924, leaving behind him memories of a noble life well spent in the service of his country and his people. Now I will show you some pictures of Sir Ponnambalam Arunachalam. Picture 1. A picture of Sir Ponnambalam Arunachalam. Picture number 2. The stamp of Sir Ponnambalam Arunachalam issued for his 5th death anniversary. These two pictures from the 9th death anniversary. Thank you. My presentation is over. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Samanmali. On this remarkable day, we are celebrating the 73rd Independence Day of Sri Lanka. I am here to give you some significant information about what happened during the British colonial era. As we already know, Sri Lanka was ruled by 3 European countries, and the last to rule the country was the British. In 1796, the Dutch surrendered Sri Lanka to the British control, and in 1802, Sri Lanka, then known as Ceylon, was made a crown colony. Although the British organized the administration in the country, they were unable to interfere with the Kingdom of Kandy until 1815. with the assistance of local Kandyan chiefs who were really frustrated with the administration of the Kandyan king, the British finally managed to conquer Kandy. In 1818, the reduced attention towards the Buddhist faith led to a rebellion against the British control. However, it was suppressed successfully, and afterwards, Kandy was integrated with the rest of the country. Among lots of significant events that happened during the colonial era, administrative reforms earned a prominent place. Under these reforms, unitary administrative and judicial systems were adapted in the country and political and economic structures were introduced. Constitutional reforms were made and the electorate was established in order to elect a member to the Legislative Council, while the rest of the Ceylonese members were nominated on a communal basis. Also, the British took actions to abolish slavery and started paying salaries in cash. Agriculture was encouraged, and the production of spices like cinnamon and pepper, and the production of sugar cane, cotton, and coffee were prioritized. More about social and cultural situations during the British intervention will be discussed later by Virulaya. Thank you for listening.
Good evening all. I am going to talk a few things about Srimad Anagarika Dhammapala, who was one of the prominent Sri Lankan independence activists. Dhammapala was born on 1864 in Sri Lanka. He joined Colonel Olcott and C.W. Leadbeater in their campaign for setting up Buddhist schools. While touring the country, he saw the difficulties of the poor villagers who suffered without proper roads, houses, hospitals, or schools. He realized the urgent need of freedom from the colonial masters. Dhammapala always worked in the interest and welfare of the Buddhist people. On a visit to Buddha Gaya in 1891, he was shocked at the condition of the holy place and vowed to surrender his life to rescue it. Dhammapala founded the Mahabodhi Society to restore Buddhism in India and promote Buddhism in the West. He started the weekly newspaper Sinhala Baudhya in 1906 to inspire a whole nation. He started touring the country, telling people not to eat beef, to avoid liquor, and to follow Buddhist principles. He also established the Anagarika Dhammapala Trust. On 31st July 1931, was proclaimed as a Buddhist monk with the name Sri Devamita Dhammapala and sadly departed in 1933. Let me be born. I would like to be born again 25 times to spread Lord Buddha's Dhamma. This was the last words of Sri Devamita Dhammapala. Thank you for listening to me and happy 73rd Independence Day. Appachchi Lanka. Namo, 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 namo Mata.
Thank you, Manli. As you know, we're talking about the Independence Day, and I will be talking about the social and the cultural situation during British intervention. After the King Sri Vikram Rajasinghe was taken as a prisoner, the Sinhala chiefs accepted the British crown as their new sovereign. According to the Kandyan Convention, Kandyan would live as British protectorate. The Buddhist religion was to give him protection of the crown. The British built a network of roads to plantain areas to get easy transportation of export crops. The train services were started. Also, the coffee plantations were given priority, and workers from India arrived to the country to work in coffee plantations. When coffee was destroyed by a leaf disease, tea was successfully, along with the rubber band, coconuts as economic goods. Establishment of hospital and the change of education system taken place. During British regime, they introduced English education. In Sri Lanka, former Pirivana education was neglected. They started converting people into their religion, and churches were opened all parts of Sri Lanka. Armed uprising against the British took place in 1888, Uva Rebellion, and 1848, Matala Rebellion. Finally, Independence Day was granted in 1948. Thank you for listening to me. Teruvan Sarana.
Thank you, Devil Aya. Thank you for giving me a chance to present the greatest national hero who was one of the most active members of Sri Lankan independence movement. His name is Mahinda Pharaoh. He was born in Sikkim in Tibet in 1901. When he was year 14, he was offered a scholarship to learn Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So he arrived to become Buddhist priesthood in 1914 as the king Mahinda Pharaoh. Then he began to study Buddhist and singular language. In 1930, Mahinda Pharaoh raised Upasampada. Mahinda Pharaoh was able to become a fluent in singular language quickly and managed to establish as famous poet and author. In this time, the British colonial government was ruling Sri Lanka. Against that, Mahinda Pharaoh used his fluency of language skills of against Sri Lankan to fight for their freedom. Because of his efforts, he was recognized as a national hero after gaining freedom in 1948. He has written over 40 books, and his most famous work included Nidahasa Dehen Lanka Mafa Jayasinghe Fortilla and Singular Jafia. On the 16th of May 1951, Mahinda Pharaoh passed away to keep the long-lasting memories to Sri Lankans. Finally, I'm going to finish by saying a short verse written by Mahinda Pharaoh. Nida Hasa Maha Budu Dakwe E Ul Papa Putu Lubawe E Bawa Sihi Kota Melowe Utu Kama Itu Kala Utuwe. The meaning: freedom is like an ocean, and you are the fountain of it. Keep that in mind and try to fulfill the duty of protecting your motherland from various challenges. Thank you.
Today I'm going to read a poem that I wrote about our motherland Sri Lanka and its Independence Day. The small island, pearl of the Indian Ocean, sitting on the outside of a large nation, filled with the beautiful colours of nature and the importance of Buddhist culture. The name Ceylon, given by the European mapmakers, changed the day we received independence. The important day occurred in the year 1948, the beginning of the new country we could create, embracing the long-awaited freedom taken away from us in 1815, giving it the name Sri Lanka, meaning resplendent island, our wonderful motherland. Over 100 rivers flowing with happiness, the joy in millions of faces, with lots of ethnic groups, Sri Lanka is a welcoming family to all. Till the run ceremony.
Sir Davy Jayasinghe was born on the 3rd of February in 1868 in Weerawardana, a village in California. His father was a government servant, while his mother worked in the Buddhist community. He had his first education at the Vijayanathala Pilivina, where he studied Sinhala, Pali, Sanskrit, plus Buddhist literature. He first studied English at the Baptist School in California. For his secondary education, he went to Wesley College, Colombo. There, he was also noticed to have high intellect and studied a lot of subjects, including Sinhala literature and Buddhist literature, English, as well as many others. Many years later, he held a position for president of the Young Men's Buddhist Association of Ceylon, as well as other useful organizations. He also started and initiated lots of Dharma schools to teach people and to embrace the Dharma, which was slowly declining due to the British rule and the conversion of people to Christianity. He was also a primary leader for the independence movement, like the reason I mentioned before, due to him being very fond of Buddhism, while the British wants to convert the population into Christianity. He also was the manager of several schools and academies, many of them were Buddhists. He became qualified with a BA and MA from the universities of Calcutta and Oxford respectively. Despite all of these achievements, he was imprisoned by martial law, only to be released some time later. This is because the British tried to stop the independence movement. He became the first leader of Sri Lanka through the voting of the democracy of the Sri Lankan people, which was never had before. With all these great efforts, he was granted knighthood from the King of the United Kingdom. And all this was expected to have some downturns, though. During World War II, Japan were enemies of the United Kingdom and its allies. The brave Sir D.B. Jayasinghe tried to talk with India because it was having a food shortage. However, they declined, but after some more talks, they agreed. But he realized that he needed authority for this to happen. So he stepped down as leader to save his people from starvation. After all these talks, he passed away on the 29th of May 1944, while he was flying on this specially allocated plane by Indian stuff from India back to Sri Lanka. Because of all his great feats, he's spoken of as the uncrowned king of Ceylon. He's certainly an outstanding, venerable hero of Sri Lanka. I would like to thank you. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you, Sajid. අද මම කියන්න යන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ජාතික වීරයෙකු වන වීරපුරන්නප්පු ගැන. 1813 නොවැම්බර් 7 වැනි දින මොරටුවේදී උපත ලැබූ වීරහෙළදිගේ ෆ්‍රැන්සිස් ෆර්නෑන්ඩෝ දරුවා පසුව වීරපුරන්නප්පු නම් විය. කොළඹ වැස්ලි විද්‍යාලයට ඇතුළත් කළ මේ දරුවා පාසලේදීද නිර්භීත යුක්තිකරක සාධාරණයට කැමති දරුවෙකි. මේ වන විටත් ඉංග්‍රීසි ලංකාව පාලනය කර අවුරුදු 30ක් ගෙවමින් පැවතිණි. එතකොට කාර්යසූර කෙනෙකු ලෙස ප්‍රසිද්ධ වීරපුරන්නප්පු 1848 ජූලි 20 වැනි දින ඉංග්‍රීසීන්ට විරුද්ධව කරැල්ලක් මෙහෙයවිය. නමුත් කෙනෙකු විසින් පාවා දීම ලෙස ඔහුව සරගත කරන ලදී. එහෙත් ඔහුව 1848 අගෝස්තු 8 වැනි දින මරා දැමීමට නියම කරන ලදී. ඔහු ජීවිතයේ අවසන් මොහොතදී කියා සිටියේ මගේ අම්මා මා වැනි තව පුතුන් 6 දෙනෙකු වැදුවා නම් මුළු රටම ඉංග්‍රීසීන්ගෙන් බේරගන්න බවයි. ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් වෙනුවෙන් එතරව නැගී සිටින ඔහු ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ ජාතික වීරයෙක් ලෙස අපට ගෞරවය පුද කරමු. Thank you.
Thank you, Meheli Nangi. Today I'm going to talk about DS, one of our national heroes, DS Senanayake. DS Senanayake was born on October 20th, 1884 in the Botale Palace in Mirigama. He was the youngest in the family and had 2 elder brothers. His father was a very rich businessman and was very keen to give his 3 children the best of education. The 2 brothers were very good in studies, and DS Senanayake was very intelligent and was very good in sports like cricket, athletics, and polo. One day, his father called all 3 brothers and asked each of them what grade they have achieved in the end of the year exam. The eldest said, "I tried to become first, but I became second." The second brother said he became 4th in his class. At last he went to DS Senanayake, but before asking the question, DS Senanayake said he was 3rd in his class. His father was a bit puzzled because DS Senanayake wasn't very good in his studies as his 2 elder brothers. So he asked how many people were in his class, and he said 3. When DS Senanayake became an adult, he told him to look after his businesses. During this time, he formed the temperance movement against selling alcohol. He was a very good Buddhist and never drank alcoholic drinks. At the age of 47, he was sworn in as the Minister of Agriculture and Lands. He helped poor people by providing them to grow vegetables and fruits. It is the dedication of Dear Seneca that many bare lands started to become fertile grounds. Dear Seneca was a very humble man. Well, why am I telling this? Listen to this story. When he was the Prime Minister, one day he went to get a haircut by a nearby saloon. As he entered the saloon, he saw the barber was busy cutting someone's hair. And the man recognized it is the Prime Minister and offered him to get his hair cut first. But Dear Seneca said, "No, I will wait until you finish." Unfortunately, he passed away on March the 22nd, 1952, after a tragic accident. But his great service to our motherland will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the key benefits of independence, or the good things that happened on Independence Day. Before I talk about any benefits of Independence Day, I am asking myself a question. Why did the Sri Lankans struggle for freedom? Well, there are many reasons. For example, in the increasing of taxes and tariffs. The British did this so the Sri Lankans could be poor. They also introduced new taxes. You wouldn't believe this, but they even had taxes for dogs in your house. It's unbelievable. The foreign rulers forced the Sri Lankans to speak English. And the foreign rulers also had to restrict religious practices. As a result of this, the Sri Lankans weren't happy at all, so they started up a struggle against the British. But the British were devious, and they increased the number of alcohol shops in the country, which lured Sri Lankan people to drink. Alcohol can have many bad effects on your body. For example, it can destroy your clear mindset, which means you don't worry about your day-to-day life and problems. It can also make you poor because buying alcohol is very expensive. And it can also make you have diseases, which can sadly make you perish. But there was one man who stopped all this from happening. As you know, Dear Seneca is a very part of our Sri Lankan history. So what he did, he formed something called a temperance movement. A temperance movement is when there is the abstinence from drinking alcohol. Sri Lankans eventually won the struggle, but they didn't do this in a violent way at all. They did it in a negotiation-based way, which means they discussed with the foreign rulers. A patriotic group of people proposed a new set of regulations to gain independence and to stop all the taxes and other regulations the British had put in. And the foreign rulers had agreed. The dawn of a memorable day. At 7:30 a.m., 4th of February 1948, the Sri Lankans were officially gained independence. This took place at Independence Square, but this isn't just a famous day because of all the famous guests, for example, Prince Henry, the Duke of Gloucester, and Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake, but it was actually because this was the marking of independence. This will stay in our hearts for our whole life. But before independence, as I said, the foreign rulers had abolished some religious practices, like going to the temple. But after independence, the Sri Lankan government reopened the door to make Sri Lankans they want in religious practices. For example, the monks preaching them. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Ayubowan Ubasamata. Thank you very much, Vidyanaya. My topic today will be the creation of the Sri Lankan national anthem, Sri Lanka Mata, originally named Namo Namo Mata, is, as we all know, the Sri Lankan national anthem. The Sri Lankan well-known composer Ananda Samrakun wrote the music and lyrics to the song, inspired and influenced by the Bengal poet Rabindranath Tagore. Samrakun had been a pupil of Tagore at Visavarabharati University, Santi Nikatana. After returning to Ceylon, Samrakun taught music at Mahinda College, Lahore. The song, which was then known as Namo Namo Mata, was first sung by the students at Mahinda College. After it was sung by the trio at Musaeus College, Colombo, at the public event, it was hugely popular in Ceylon and was widely played on the radio. Prior to the Ceylon's independence, 1948, the Lanka Governor Sabha had organized a competition to find a national anthem. Among the entries were Namo Namo Mata by Samrakun and Sri Lanka Mata Pala Yasa Mahima by P.B. Lihangasea and Lionel Indrasinghe. The latter won the competition, but this was controversial as Lasingasinghe and Indrasinghe were members of the judging panel. Sri Lanka Mata Pala Yasa Mahama was broadcast by Radio Ceylon on the morning of the 4th February 1948, Independence Day, but it was not sung at the official Freedom Day celebrations. Ceylon continued to use UK's national anthem as its official national anthem after independence. At the first Independence Day ceremony held at the 4th February 1949 at the Independence Memorial Hall in Torrington Square, both Namo Namo Mata and Sri Lanka Mata Pala Yasamahama were sung in Sinhala and Tamil as national songs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. අද මම කතා කරන්න යන්නේ ලංකාවේ national flag එක.
The Sri Lankan national flag. Sri Lankan national flag is one of the most colorful, meaningful, and beautiful flags in the world. All of the symbols in the flag has distinctive meanings. It has a golden lion holding a castile sword on its right forepaw to show strength of the Sinhala ethnicity. In the Sri Lankan national flag, there are 4 gold buoys on the corners to indicate 4 Buddhist virtues, such as metta, karuna, mudita, and upeksha. Orange stripe represents Tamil ethnicity. Green stripe represents Moor ethnicity, and gold and yellow border represents other minorities in Sri Lanka. According to the history records, when King Vijaya arrived to Sri Lanka in 486 BC, he brought a flag with him. This flag had a symbol of lion on it. When the time goes by, this flag has gradually improved, and until 1815, after signing of the Kandyan Convention, it has been replaced by the Union flag under British King George III. Early 20th century, Mr. E.W. Pereira and Mr. D.R. Jayawardana discovered the lion flag in Chelsea, London. After its discovery in 1948, Sri Lankan Parliament decided to adopt this flag as the national flag of Sri Lanka to request of Mr. Simbalabbe. This flag has been amended in 1953 and 1972. It is the flag that we are using until today. Thank you. This is the flag of Sri Lanka.
Are you ready?
Wadanati, Vedanati, Lasana, Appachchi. Sama Ekamataye Tusan Deva Danati Danati Asanalo Veta Patu Udaveva. Thank you.
Is Metindu here? Put the whole thing on. Is Metindu here? Okay. Okay.
There.
Metindu, start your presentation, please. Metindu, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
මෙතිදු අන්මියුට් කරලා කතා කරන්න. එතකොට හරි. දැන් මම හිතන්නේ අන්මියුට් කරන්නකෝ. දෙකක් තියෙනවා, එකක් ඕෆ් කරන්න. මම හිතන්නේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ දෙකකින් කතා කරන්න. එක්කෝ එකක් අන්මියුට් කරන්න.
දැන් ඇහෙනවද? දැන් හම්දුරගෙන් ඇහෙනවද කියලා? හම්දුරනේ දැන් හරිද?
හරි ඇහෙනවා. ඔව්.
හරි. start again with it.
කොටවැටිච්ච පුංචි සරම ඇඳන් නටන මල්ලියා ගෙදර නිතර දබර කරන පුංචි මල්ලියා මගේ මල්ලියා සුරතලා චන්දියා මගේ මල්ලියා සුරතලා චන්දියා Rangiya mavenodin handai eva kada karalala maduai sini pona kanna salli illala handai
Masai hari nagai, Malia hari hondai. Koto atitcha punchi sarana enda natana Malia. Kedara netara dabara karana punchi Malia. Mage Malia, Surkala Chandiya. Mage Malia, Surkala Chandiya. Hasal kusin bagi akatinaran. Gal kureyak karanda mitlangin diwan. Punchi kita punchi kapata giya yadarin. Natay santusin Malia raktaran. Koto atitcha punchi sarma enda natana Malia. Kedara netara dabara karana punchi Malia. Mage Malia, Surkala Chandiya. Mage Malia, Surkala Chandiya. Surkala Chandiya. Surkala Chandiya. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really good. Well done. Right. So, well done to all of you. So we learned a lot of things about the Independence Day and before the independence. What was the situation? What was the struggle? And how we overcame all these problems. That was good. Right. So that was the official program. So if anyone wants to still speak who was not on the list, we have a few minutes. Anyone want to say anything?
You can unmute and or put your hands up and start. You all are getting this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like that's the end of it. So very well done again to all of you. Thank you very much for being here today. And we have taken a bit more time than expected. So to finish it off, we are going to sing the national anthem. So I'll play the national anthem and we would all stand up and you can sing from where you are, but please don't put your mics on. Keep them muted, please. Shall we all stand up now? Thank you very much. I will kindly pass it back to Hamaduru Teruansara.
Teruvan Saranai. Thank you very much, Rasikaya, for a lot of hard work and effort to bring this opportunity for our children and well organized. And especially as you mentioned that we have been doing this over 9 years on February to mark the Independence Day, Sri Lankan Day. So yet again, despite this all pandemic and restrictions, we managed this online celebration of Sri Lankan Day extremely well. And I am so proud of the professionality of the children in presentations and also great enthusiasm of Sri Lankan nature to participate into this special program, even being late, that you still participating, attending very joyfully, and your presentations are excellent. And even we learn a lot from you today. And you are well comfortable because you have well prepared for that. And you did very well. Some of our children still couldn't join, but maybe next time you also can join, because you can see that most of the children who did the presentation today did very well to share their knowledge and to make us really happy. You know, I was watching most of the people when you were doing the presentation. Even they were smiling from their eyes. Sometimes tears, I certainly can understand that sometimes tears came in, because when you were saying beautiful things and very valuable things. So I think this is a very special program for all of you. And this is a lifetime experience for your children. So therefore, that is why I said I'm very grateful to Rasikaya for especially for making the effort and putting this together and doing all these things behind. Also, I'm very grateful to Padmanona and also Ashanona from Milton Keynes, Padmanona from Letchworth, for giving us the support to put the children in line and make this ceremony a very special one. Also, I need to be really grateful to our parents. Without their dedication, without their support, we would not be having this special ceremony this much a success. So therefore, we are very grateful to our parents and well done again for having this opportunity. And last not the least, I am very grateful to the sponsors today, Mrs. Samanmali and Mr. Ranjeewa Weerawardana, in loving memory of their Loku Appachchi, Mr. Ranjith Ratnachandra, wishing him liberation and peace on his birthday. Also to share the blessings with Loku Amma, Mrs. Ramya Ratnachandra, and family and all in the whole world. Also, Miss Chamari Jayasinghe, on her birthday, she sponsored, supported this program to make available. We wish her very happy birthday. Also to living mother and all in the family and friends. Also to late father. May those merits be with a great blessing in their lives. Also, Mr. Murali and Mrs. Priya Chandrasena sponsored this program in loving memory of their beloved friend, Commodore L.M. Handunge, who works an excellent service in Sri Lankan Navy. And on to mark this 5th year, they would like to transfer these special merits. Also to wish their loving mothers, especially Mrs. Vigneswari Shanmuganathan, Mrs. Kusuma Chandrasena, and also Aunt Mrs. Wimala Ruhunage, wishing them all speedy recovery, good health and protection. Also, this being sponsored by Mrs. Anuradha M. Madaduwage, wishing her very happy birthday with good health and prosperity. Also, our children's and their parents also supporting these programs to available. So we appreciate your support to the temple, and may those be a great blessing for you all and your family, especially during this pandemic time. Some of our families are still going through very hard time due to this illnesses and pandemic situation. So I just wanted to bring my blessings for them as well. Rather just saying their names, I will keep them all in my heart, wish them speedy recovery and good health and protection from all around. So that comes to our end of our program, and we have done very well. It's a beautiful ceremony, and I will certainly remember for my life with our children. We did a wonderful Independence Day celebration to mark the 73rd Independence Day in 2021. I would take all the participants here. Still there are 31. There was about 52 altogether attending. To bring their hands together, give them a good round of applause to all our children. Doing very well. So I can see you all on my screen, and give them a very good round of applause to appreciate, well done, our Sri Lankan children, especially giving all the support. Thank you. Well done. Now going back to the best part, which is still not to miss few minutes of meditation. I can see most of our children are very good in meditation now. And I even heard from your parents that you are doing very well. It helps to increase your memory. It helps to develop a lot of concentration, focus. You don't have to work hard on your studies or homework, because your creativity, your memory, your concentration goes very high. Also, you would be the happiest children, and also very well, because immune goes very well, and also you enjoy your everyday life. So let us bring us into a few minutes of meditation. selecting a comfortable posture. Make every part of the body relax. And try to keep this uprightness, alertness, wakefulness as you heard the heroes of Sri Lankans develop this resilience, confidence, bravery, heroistic energy through meditation. Patriotistic qualities were developed. So keep your body straight, upright, and very, very strongly still. Breathe slowly in and breathe slowly out, relaxing the body. Experiencing your body posture sitting, breathe in. And relaxing every part of the body, breathe out. If the body is comfortable, bring a gentle smile and make you happy. Experience that smile, relax your muscles in the face, and extend it to the whole body. That is what makes your body heal. Your frigidity, your hard work, your worn out nature will instantly eliminate when you share that joy into the whole body. Breathe slowly in. Very, very slowly breathe out. Breathe very slowly in. And very, very slowly breathe out, relaxing the body. Breathe slowly in. Breathe slowly out, relaxing the body. Now, reflect, recite silently. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from envy. May I be free from suffering. May I maintain my well-being. May I attain spiritual bliss. As I am, my parents, my teachers, my family, our monks, and all in the whole universe. Be well, be happy, be peaceful. Really experience this loving kindness in your heart, that you are never getting angry, frustrated, which is full of suffering. We talk about freedom, taste of freedom, that is to make our mind free from this anger, which can make you very, very suffering. Instead, being kind, calm, helping others, being patient, especially. That is what we develop in this meditation. Those are the gems of our mind. Breathe slowly in. Breathe slowly out, relaxing the body. Remember to bring that smile and never feel rigidity or frustration. Instead, being always calm, happy, contented, and kind. May you have all the blessing to grow as a very, very special people, leaders of the country, leaders of the world. We want you to be the very excellent Sri Lankan children, very capable, and may the triple gem bless you. Bringing your palms jointly together, slowly open the eyes. But don't get lost yourself or do unnecessary things. Make your body calm and body relax and still pay attention. And keep your palms jointly together. And let us share our final blessings. Saying 3 times together out loud so that everyone can hear in the household. Sadhu. 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 Thank you very much, and we look forward to see you next week. As usual, our Dhamma school next Saturday. So the next Saturday, I think Rasikaya, we are going back to
yeah, alhamdulillah. I think a couple of weeks ago, we did a gatha from Parabhav Sutra regarding ignoring parents' advice, not listening to them, and what are the consequences of those acts. So we expect you to do your homework, and as usual, do a little presentation to show us that you understood that lesson. And then next week we'll learn another gatha, and we'll go on like that. So thank you very much again for your wonderful efforts. Like Commodore said, parents, your dedication is amazing. In our little group, I have seen how enthusiastic you have been, and keep that going. And we'll get our children in the right place, giving them the right mindset. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Terung Saranai. Terung Saranai Hamaturmani. Terung Saranai Hamdurune. Terung Saranai Hamdurune and Ratnachandra and everyone in the meeting.
Terun Saranai Handune.
Terung Saranai.
Bye everyone.
Nungy's there. Nungy's gone upstairs. Hey, what are you doing up there?
Everyone,